Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the 9th episode of IOHL Radio. I'm here with Jay Diggs, as usual, and for one day only, I'm going to have Filthy on as a special broadcaster.
Oh.
But, let's start this show started off with news announcements. We got Filthy One as our special guest broadcaster, so he's going to be the special guest and our special broadcaster.
Do it all.
Again, why does everybody clap when they're on the show?
You weren't going to do it. Somebody had to do it.
I clap for you.
Thank you, buddy.
It's all good, man.
Let's get this show on the road. News and announcements. Season 3 is open. Season 3 sign-ups are open, so make sure to sign up. Looking for 16 teams from the last time I've talked with a commissioner. Ownership apps are still open. 12 people signed up to be owner. Well, applied to be owner. Nobody's confirmed yet. All-Star voting, there's a post for it, but there's a form for it, but there's no post in it, so I don't know when All-Star voting will be up. There's plenty of stuff we're going to talk about tonight on IOHL Radio. We're going to have lag out fraud and team communication on the 5-minute major. We're going to talk to Filthy One about his team and his play. We're going to the usual stuff. So let's get on with it. With our, we'd like to welcome again Filthy One on to be our special guest broadcaster.
Hey, buddy.
How you doing, Filthy One? How are you doing? Thank you for coming on.
Yep, no problem. Doing alright. You know, Shark Week's over. I'm a little disappointed I didn't get on until now, but it's alright because it's just the beginning of Sharktember, you know?
I love
It's
Shark
going to
Week.
really count. Yeah?
I love Shark Week. I watched a whole series on Megalodon. That was pretty cool.
I thought the coolest part of it was the ad they had when they were releasing the seal or whatever, and the great white came up on it. That was really good.
Never saw it coming.
You know, it's just kind of like the IOHL. They didn't see them putty kissing sharks coming, but here we are.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, you see that? See that?
So, Filthy One, how do you like playing for Rainbow Treasure, and how do you like being management?
Well, to be honest with you, I wanted to be GM from the beginning. I actually asked Rainbow to be the owner of the team because I know how Rainbow is. He's a good owner. The scariest thing about Rainbow is he's extremely nice. I mean, you've seen in the past couple of days some of the guys we've been releasing, you know. I think he's making the right calls, and right now we have addition by subtraction, and it's working for us, man. That's what led to our 11-game win streak.
Definitely. You guys won, 17 out of 20 games or something?
Yeah, I believe so.
Huge turnaround.
Oh,
Yeah, it was
really? Go ahead.
Say it again?
Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Oh, no, I mean, just... We've made some moves in free agency that helped us out. More than anything, at this point, it was just building chemistry and getting the right guys paired together, you know, making the right lines. At the beginning of the season, we didn't have any set lines, you know, it's just, alright, well, today this guy has availability and let's put him in, et cetera, we play our games. But up to recently, we've been actually making set lines, and it's made a world's difference. Just that extra bit of chemistry, you know, the cycle game. I think you'll see two very different play styles depending on what line you play from us.
Diggs, do you have any questions for Filthy One?
No, I took my breath away on that. I was going to ask the same question. How was the chemistry working there? But you pretty much go ahead with it. But, I mean, where do you guys see yourself? Do you see yourself contending in the playoffs for the championship, or?
I'd hope so. To be honest with you, hoping Anaheim makes it, keeps on doing what they're doing. Because I really don't want to play Calgary. I don't know what it is about them. Calgary's been making us look bad this entire season. Especially me.
Calgary's been one of those teams where you're like, damn! Why can't I beat them? But
I don't get it at all.
But, yeah, Calgary's got a good group of guys there. He's got Kush, owner. Got a good group of guys. But, where in the standings do you see you guys ending?
First place.
Oh, that was a stupid question, I guess.
I'm pretty sure at this point we can go. We really, I can't give you the numbers. I'm not looking at the stat page at the moment. We could really screw up this week, and we're gonna, I think, stay in first place. It's hard for Elizabeth at this point. You have to really shit the bed.
Okay. Well, he's our special guest, but he's also our special guest broadcaster, so we'll continue on with the show. Is there anything else you want to say, like shout out or something?
Oh, I was talking to Rainbow Treasury this morning. He actually woke me up today by calling me. And, he wanted me to get it out there that he would really, really like to be an owner again. We even have a campaign slogan for him. It's called Taste the Rainbow. Taste the Rainbow for NHL 14. Owner. Come on.
It's catchy.
Well, if he wants to be owner, he better put it in that owner's application because he's still. No, he
was
did.
the first person to do it.
Never mind. I just looked at
Very
it.
good about that, man. I mean, every single day he's the guy that sends out a message telling guys what time they're playing, et cetera, et cetera. I put up the lines for, I believe, last week, and a lot of guys were confused when they didn't get the message, He puts a lot of work into it.
But that's definitely, thank you for coming on, and we're going to continue on with you right now. So let's get a little bit into stats. We got an interesting turn of events this week. Michael D, 71, took over the goal lead, 45 goals. So that was a big jump. I know he played something like, 14 games as D-man, so that's pretty outstanding.
Who was it before? Insane Woody?
It was, I think it was J-Hub, was it J-Hubs? I believe it was J-Hubs.
Okay.
That had the point lead, that had the goal lead, I'm pretty sure. But Insane Woody's still running away with the 81 points. I'm pretty sure Michael is behind him. Maybe.
I mean, one thing you look and you're looking at the stats page is what. I'm sorry, I can't. I spoke today. Apparently, the one thing you see is Toronto, 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 and you got some guy from the Anaheim Ducks leading in goals. Got to give him some credit there.
Yeah, because it's always Toronto, because Toronto's playing really well.
Yeah.
But, they finally have somebody catching up with him. Michael D is playing really well this week. Michael D, he's got 25 games played, 45 goals, 34 assists, 79 points. So he's not too far behind in the points. He's about 2 points behind, Insane Woody, but...
He's doing it all on a team that, I guess the majority of the league doesn't consider to be all that good.
Toronto?
No.
Ducks?
Anaheim.
Oh, yeah. Ducks, yeah.
Yeah.
They've had a big turnaround.
Too.
They have a big turnaround. They're now in a playoff spot after almost tanking. And then no pun intended on that. But they almost tanked the season the first 2 weeks, and now look at them. They're at 18-18. They got back to a nearly 500 record. 37 points. They're running away from Calgary too. They're running away from Calgary. They're swamping them.
I'll say it again. Tanked.
No pun intended there. I know Tank's on vacation. He's probably gonna be listening while he's drinking. And he might take that in a certain way, but we're not trying to start any rivalries on the show. They've already had rivalries that they start on the ice. Insane Woody's also the assist leader. He's at 44. Jay Hubs is continuing with the plus minus. He's plus 58.
That's huge.
And I looked last night, and I hate to be cocky, but I'm in the top 20 in hits and plus minus in all defensemen.
What? Let me take a look here, guy.
Yeah, you gotta double check that.
Hey, we're gonna go look at the old stat page here. Shots, plus, minus, blah, blah, blah. Nobody cares. Hits, here we go.
I'm nearly top 10 in plus minus.
Look at that. You're almost by NJ Filthy one in hits, man.
Jeez.
We're never going to catch Diggs, though. He's got like 150 million
Oh,
hits.
wow.
But,
Diggs 106? Look at Inkboy,
enough
201.
about us. I know it's going to seem like we're talking about us, but we never talk about ourselves on this show. So, I thought it'd be nice to talk about ourselves a little bit.
My first time on the show, I've already said like 6 different things about me, but, I say.
But, we're going to go to goalies, goal against average. I don't even know how to say that name.
Goals against, percentage for shots. Where's it at?
Whatever his name is, whatever. I don't know how to say that name.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm not going to make myself look stupid by trying to say that.
Goal against average with a 1. Bobrovsky's still leading in the save percentage from last week, .933. Wins.
The thing about Bobrovsky is he hasn't played since the very beginning of the season, so his stats, are kind of iffy.
Yeah.
Kind of ditched.
I mean, there's no way of us telling that. We can't tell that. I mean, I wish my stats was a little better with that. Like, it would register that players aren't playing and they would...
Games played, etc.
Like, at a certain point...
10-game minimum?
Yeah, at a certain point, players are eliminated from the leaders because they haven't played. But, I don't know how that works, so... We'll let the commissioners deal with that. They seem more competent with it than I am. Wins Sandman of Chicago. The Sandman is basically putting people to sleep with 15 wins.
Hi-yo.
Shutouts is the Leafin' Jets. Leafin' Jets has a Twitch page that he puts up games of the week every here and there. That's an interesting thing. You should go check out. I watched a couple of them. It's pretty fun. You get to hear what behind the scenes of the Anaheim Ducks on a couple games of the week that he likes to call, and it's really interesting. He's taking it from a goalie's perspective, so you get to see really all the action, and it's definitely a great idea. Good idea. Good on Leaf and Jets for doing that. All right, so that's enough with stats. Let's get on to standings. In the Eastern Conference, you obviously have Toronto leading with 62 points. They seem to be running away, 29-7-4. Looks like they're going to have first place at the end of the season. Florida is also looking like they're going to be in second place. We've been playing pretty well lately. 23-13-2, 48 points. New York struggling a little bit, but they're sticking in there. 19-17-2, 40 points. Detroit's starting to really struggle with it. They're playing not too good. 15-22 and 33 points. The New York Islanders are tied with them for the playoff spot, but Detroit has a tiebreaker. 14-21-5. What do you guys think? Who's making the playoffs? Out of these 5 teams,
all right, well,
who's making the playoffs?
I'll be that guy if you want. Toronto.
There's 4 spots.
4 spots. Oh no, guy,
choose wisely. Choose wisely.
Diggs, gotta give it to him. Give him the truth.
All right, let's say who's not making the playoffs. It'd be a lot easier that way. Maybe we'll say what's a tie between the Wings and the Islanders. So I'd say the Islanders may not make the playoffs.
Eh?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go against you on that one, buddy. I'm saying Detroit, with recent events, is going to have a very tough week this week. And the Islanders, haven't they been on something of a streak recently?
They've been up and down.
Up and down?
Up and down.
Like a stock market, man. It goes up and it comes back down.
Still, I think Detroit's going to have a bad week for some reason. Maybe not bad, but I think the Islanders are going to have a good week. They're going to make.
I mean,
so here's the tough pick. Who's the Western Conference? Who's not going to make it out of there?
Well, I mean, I'm going to stay in the Eastern Conference because I still haven't said who I think is going to make the playoffs or not.
Excuse me very
much.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But I'm jumping the gun, Jay Diggs.
I get excited.
I believe that as good as Detroit is on their roster, they've had a tough season. I believe that New York is going to be the underdog here, and it's going to be the Cinderella story. They're going to make the playoffs, and they might give a first round matchup, a run for their money. So I say the New York Islanders will make it. Possibly they'll decide that on the very last day of games. Now we're on to the Western Conference. We'll go through a little overview. San Jose Sharks are in first place, 24-12-3, 51 points. Chicago Blackhawks they're there. They can, if the Sharks have a tough week and the Blackhawks have a big week, they can take over the Sharks' lead. 46 points, not bad. 20-14-6. Winnipeg is right behind them. 18-15-5, 41 points. Anaheim, with a big week this week, got back into a playoff spot. 18-18-1, 37 points. They have a couple players playing really well. Calgary is starting to struggle a little bit. 15-23-2, 32 points. Now, with how hot Anaheim has been, who do you think is going to make the playoffs? Calgary or Anaheim?
I'm hoping it's Anaheim, man. Because if we do take the number one spot, I really don't want to play Calgary. They've been nothing but a pain to us this entire season. They're a team to look out for, man. I don't want to play them. I can say that.
Diggs.
Oh man, this is a hard one. I'm gonna go with Filthy on this. I'm gonna agree with him and say the Flames. And it's a hard. Like, I want to see Anaheim go forth, and they're a hard team to beat too. But Calgary's quite pesky, man. So I would probably say Calgary. What do you think there, Trupa?
I believe the Ducks. I believe it's going to come out on top. They've been really hot. I mean, Michael D's been playing really well. I mean, you have a bunch of great players there. You got Robert Kingpin has been playing well. He's been a good owner all year, taking over for Dapso. And the crew that left that team hanging the first day. They did a really good job rebuilding that team and really revamping them and picking up the pieces that were left. And it's really it's really a Cinderella story for them. It's really a great story. Radio-wise, at least. But, they have a good team, and they could bring an upset to the San Jose Sharks. You never know. If they make the playoffs, they could give the Sharks a run for their money. In that division, really, there's no real set person that can come out of the Western Conference.
No, any one of us could tank it.
Any four of you guys could take it. I mean, even if Calgary comes back this week and ends up making the playoffs, that could even be a tough matchup. Either way, I mean, they're all been tough matchups, and they've all been close mostly. I mean, we'll see. And so that's it for standings. But we're gonna get on to our more anticipated section of the radio show that we love to do. I love to do it. It's called the 5-Minute Major. This week of the 5-Minute Major, we have team communications and lag-out fraud. I want to start with the lag-out fraud because this was a formal complaint that a commissioner made. But the complaint was that people would quit and say they lagged out, but yet they never quit. They never lagged out. They just quit because maybe they were injured. They didn't like how the play was going. They didn't like their grade. I don't know. Could be any which way, but it's something that needs to be taken care of, and something that I think will be taken care of.
How do you take care of it, though, man? You give them more than the 2-minute penalty? I mean, what are you really going to do about it? You're going to tell a player?
I work private investigating. I work security. You got to do some probing. You got to ask the players involved and whose story lines up and which story doesn't line up.
Terminator.
No, but I'm serious. I know how to pick apart stories and deal with this stuff.
All right,
I mean,
and who's going to do it, though? We're going to get our player reps who are probably already quite busy, and they're going to go for each and every lag out and more or less take a report.
But the thing is, this is a serious issue. People
And
are
it is, and I agree with you.
I mean, the topic of the complaint is loopholes.
Mm-hmm.
Loopholes are the worst thing in leagues. And I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
but
going to
it
read the statement. I'm going to read the statement by Bill right now. This is a statement by Bill 49649. He's a commissioner, and we talked about him early in the show. But his topic is named loopholes. I have noticed some loopholes that we may need to address in the future. The one that I've noticed is players being injured in a game and quitting and saying they lagged out, although there are no ways to prove it. We could implement rules that players who lag out will have to be replaced and can't continue in the current game. This would prevent the injured player quitting from happening. I don't know if this would punish the people who actually lag out, but it would stop people from quitting when they are injured.
Okay. That just makes a whole nother loophole, man. Alright, so now...
But I mean...
I'm injured, I lag out. Alright? Now, we put in Citizen, who's just as good of a defenseman as me. And then here, it raises another question. That game, who does it count against, me or Citizen? I mean, there's so many issues there. And for taking the whole reports, that's going to require so much resource. Require so many resources. Is it really realistic to do all of that?
I do it all the time at my job.
Yeah, but you get paid at your job.
I don't care. I'll do it for free.
You'll do it for free.
I'll do it for free.
And then who's going to make a call on the story? Who's going to actually be the judge here? Commissioners?
The commissioners will do it.
Or are we going to appoint a special commissioner to this?
The good point. I mean, it's up to them. It's up to them. I trust that they're going to make the right decision. I like this league a lot. It's a great league, and it doesn't have as many problems as others do. But all the problems it has are really minor and really stupid, to be honest with you. But I mean, it's
the bigger it gets, the worse it gets.
It's great that we have a commissioner like Bill who's very dedicated. It's a terrible thing that when we heard that Bill has a situation that he's going to deal with at his house, but we have somebody as dedicated as Bill. Kieffer was really dedicated too. I mean, we got all great commissioners. But Diggs, what do you think about this whole loopholes situation?
That seems kind of slimy, actually. To be honest with you, say for example, I give a hit, I injure that person. All of a sudden, 10 minutes passes by, and that same person lags out. Now that looks suspicious. Okay. Now if I hurt the person, just by doing my duties, and then somebody else lags out, now that's a gray area. You know what I mean? Now that's team honesty on their point. And people lag out. I mean, hey, connections are bad and whatnot. There's rainstorms. Your sister's on the internet. Whatever it is, that's cool. But I mean, maybe take into account how many times that person's doing it or getting hurt, and strategically getting hurt and lagging out throughout the whole season. You can check patterns out if you want to, by all means. That could be part of whatever it is. But you can't. The only thing you can do is have somebody sit in the party and listen to the whole party the whole entire time. And that's pretty much, you can't do that.
We have the resources to do that.
We can have the resources, but then you got to pull a commissioner away from one of their own games, or have people on call who have lives to listen in on to each game. And each game, there's 8 games a night. Sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, there are people that are always on at that time, so you're not really pulling them away from anything.
Well, there's people on at that time, but are they not playing in this league themselves?
No, I'm saying people in this league.
Yeah, no, I realize what you're saying, but majority of us, I mean, at least with my own team, everybody plays most of the time. It's one line goes out one game, and the second line or so is out the second game, is all I'm saying. I mean, I don't know. And besides the fact, it's all hard, man, because we're just allowing regular players to listen into this, or are we making our own new form of management?
It's kind of almost if you're darned if you do and darned if you don't at this point.
I mean, there's these something like an IOHL PA, almost like IOHL Players Association.
Hey, it's hard. It's hard.
I mean, it's not that hard if you think about it. I mean, it's not that hard. It's just people don't want to take the time to do it. I mean,
Well, let me ask you this. We already see where stats are being input late and all these other little issues, and nothing big, but little issues that are already time consuming that are sometimes not being done anywhere near time, or on time rather. Do we really want to create a whole other area? I mean, I don't know.
Well, that'll be interesting to see later on. But that'll be interesting to see later on. But we'll see how that plays out. But on to the next topic, team communication. There's been situations where teams have been moving players and not telling them properly, or not telling them at all. There needs to be I think there needs to be some sort of regulation with that. Kind of like you have to give your job 2 weeks notice when you're quitting. It should be your team needs to give you proper notice when you're being waived or when you're being traded.
No. Conflict of interest. You don't have to tell them anything. It's not hurting the player to trade them to any team if you're waiving them.
They don't know. It is when they don't know.
Oh.
I mean, you don't tell somebody they're leaving. They're gonna be like, "Hey, where's my lines? Oh, you're not on our team anymore." What?
Well, in some sense, the player
it's common courtesy.
In some sense,
it's kind of but the thing is, it's bullcrap that you have to tell your job 2 weeks notice that you have to quit, that you're quitting, but they don't have to give you any notice when they're going to fire you, even if they know they're going to fire you in 3 weeks.
A little bit of a different situation, because in this case, the player can take complete control of it and have his own responsibilities, and he can check as long as management and everyone else is doing their job. He can go and he can check the Google Doc, and he'll see that he's been waived. If he's been traded, it's really no issue.
You don't know if you've been waived. You can't tell if you're being waived.
Yeah, look at the Google Doc.
You can't look at the Google Doc. The Google Doc doesn't say if you're waived or not.
You sure about this?
I'm pretty sure about this because I check the Google Docs every day.
Then they probably aren't being updated. I don't understand.
There's no waiver board. Now. There's no waiver board, though.
Okay, but if you're put down into the training camp.
I think the problem here is two things. One, you can wake up being one team and then go to sleep being one team and wake up being another team.
Is that really an issue?
It can be an issue because the thing is, though, it's one, either they're not fast enough to switch your colors around, which is not a big deal. I mean, you could end up seeing your past team's lounge, or you can be misinterpreted. I mean, would be common courtesy to say, you know what, even like a commissioner saying that just put through the trade saying, emailing you or private message or even on Xbox just saying to you, at this time in time as of 3:00 today, you've been traded to, the New Jersey Devils. You know what I mean? Just to show you, give you at least some direction. You know what I mean?
I got
luck. How do you expect me to play for you next season when you can't tell me that I was traded? Or, you know what I mean? Like, even give me a viable reason. Give me an email. Give me a private message. I don't mind. You want to bring me into an Xbox live chat? Give or go. You know what I mean? Like, at that point, it'd be common mutual. You know what I mean? If you're just gonna, cut me and then not tell me and then make me find out on my own and then all of a sudden, you're with a new team and you're trying to get ready with a new team or the new team hasn't even contacted you yet. How do you feel as if you're in the white zone? You're in static. You don't know if you're coming, you're going, you're even sticking around, if anybody wants you. It's just communication that way is the biggest key. You gotta know where you're going and you expect to be playing that game. I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts?
When all the games are at the same time, I don't see what the difference is. You join the league. When you join the league, you agreed to play for any team in the league. If anything, you're going to have to bring up a role. I don't think a player should be able to force a trade. But no, I mean
when you request a trade, you have to shop them.
I realize.
So you're saying if I request a trade and management doesn't like that, they hold a grudge against me. That's okay.
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. That is not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is I don't think that should be a rule in the first place that you can request a trade. But when you sign up for the league, you've already agreed to play under any conditions, more or less, in my opinion, and for any team that wants you, traded or not.
They always have the condition of they don't like it, they're not going to play, and we don't want that. We want players liking to play here. And there needs to be courtesy within the management. You can't be like, "Oh, you're waived. Goodbye." That's not nice.
At the very least, I don't believe it's management responsibility. I think that would be something the commissioners should take care of on a more official level.
But how is it not management's responsibility? You're moving players.
Because it can create issues for it. Have either of you ever been management on a team, especially owner?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Whenever I actually got traded in sports, I was literally sat down by the coach and stated, "You are no longer with the team." At least that way they gave me the choice of packing my bags up, moving the family, and go. That they didn't just give me the flip in my locker room and said, "Hey, see you later." They at least sat me down and would say, "Hey, you're leaving."
Yeah, but that's real life, and there's a whole different, perspective than a video game.
A whole different perspective. But the thing is, it's common courtesy. And they do it in real life is so that you don't create issues.
Last piece, though, they could at least said something saying you're passing it on to somebody else. That'd be your last responsibility as you give your ex-employer or your...
The only issue there is it does create a chance to cause a
This whole problem with talking about the player. Trauma. Tell that got traded is never going to want to play for you. And then you're going to continue to...
don't see how.
You don't see how, but I don't understand how you don't see how. Because the thing is...
Ultimately, whether or not the player is told he's been traded, waived, sent down to training camp, doesn't make any difference. He's still being sent there.
I know, but it could have been common courtesy that's in there. You could have been nice to the guy, like, "Hey, I'm dropping you to training camp. I'm waiving you. Hey, I'm going to put the word out." Or, "Hey, put the word out privately that you're waived. Put out the word privately that you're on the block." This, so that you can get people to play. You can't just sink somebody to the training camp, because that's practically a blacklist. Because that's practically saying you're suspended for the entire season. You're never going to play again.
It doesn't matter
You're
whether...
never going to play again. We don't care about you. We don't care about what you think. We don't care about if you think that this decision is right or not. You're just gone. We never cared about you. We've never been nice to you.
Management are cold-hearted sons of bitches, aren't we?
But the thing is, that's how it comes off. I'm not trying to say that.
That's not how it is, though. I realize what you're saying to a certain extent. I think you're exaggerating.
I'm not exaggerating, but that's how the players are feeling. That's how the players feel.
I don't know why they shouldn't. They absolutely should not. It's not how it works. I mean, ultimately, at least our team, we haven't ever had an issue where we've gotten rid of somebody for anything than play issues, actual on the ice issues. It's never been anything of the sort. It's, okay, what can we do to make us better?
So if you were fired tomorrow, how would you feel?
I'm an unemployment guy.
You could be fired.
Oh, I'm sorry, as management is what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, just for safe's sake, hypothetically, if you were fired tomorrow, how would you feel? With no word of nothing. Just
I'm a pretty cool guy. I don't get fired. You know what I mean?
And that's not what we're saying. We're saying if.
I'm just saying emotionally, how would you feel if you got fired tomorrow? How would you feel? No hesitation. Just saying you stepped into.
I got fired tomorrow without being told, or I mean, is that how far we're going to take this, or just I got fired tomorrow?
If you got fired tomorrow with no notice whatsoever.
Here's even better
more than
situation.
anything.
This is the situation that we're talking about. What if you walk into work not knowing that you have been fired? You walk into work, and then your friend who works there said, "What are you doing here, guy? You don't work here no more. What are you doing?" And you're like, "What are you talking about? I'm not fired." He said, "No, yeah, the boss just sent out the notice that you've been fired." It's like, "I never got any notice."
And we're trying to compare video games to real life.
But it's not.
It's not the same.
Yeah, you're right. It's not the same. But the thing is, this is within common courtesy. This has happened to players, and I mean, it's not the correct way of going towards something.
All right. I'll say this: as far as trades go, I do not believe they need to be notified. They don't need to be told anything about trades.
Okay, so they don't need to be told what team they're going to so they can play?
It's the other, no, it's the other's team. It's a team, both teams that make the trade should contact the player that they're getting in return. I mean, they should do it for themselves. They want to make sure this guy can play during that day. But no, if I went and I traded away Mr. Fishin right now to another team, I don't believe I should have to tell them. Now, if I'm trading Mr. Fishin for Tank, I believe it makes sense for me as management to tell, "Hey, Tank, you're on our team. We could use you at Monday, 10 o'clock. Please be there." It makes sense. It's going to be beneficial to me. But no, I don't believe I should have to tell Mr. Fishin anything.
Why? Because you want to avoid the situation? You want to avoid confrontation? Filthy? Filthy. Are you serious?
No, I apologize. I'm here.
Come on, man.
Calm down, buddy. Calm down, buddy.
I
Say again, real life video games. You're screwing me up here. This took longer than I thought. It's Sharktober. What are we talking about again?
But no, what I'm saying is, now you told me, now I totally forgot what I just asked you.
I don't know. I just figure, I mean, it would be the last, kind, decent thing to do when you part away. I mean, say for example, you draft the guy and you no longer need him anymore, and that's fine. That's cool. I mean, rejection is cool, but at least give him, since you've been traded to been traded to Anaheim, and thank you very much for your playing or something like that. See you down the pasture. I don't know. I just figured that.
I know what I
give
said.
a simple message like
I
that.
remember what I asked. I got a little bit brash with this, but why don't you think that you should tell him anything? Why do you think you should be what? You're afraid of confrontation? You're afraid he's gonna curse you out or something?
No, I'm afraid of starting drama. I'm afraid of him sending messages to other players and everything else on the team. It's just much cleaner to get rid of them and let the other team take care of it at that point. I don't see why I should have to. And if the other team doesn't decide to contact them, I think that's stupid on their part.
Okay. There's definitely interesting topics. Very good discussion on the 5-minute major today. We're gonna wrap it up here. Filthy One came on. It was actually pretty good show. Great show for a first timer. But thanks for Filthy One. We're gonna have a couple games tonight. Got a bunch of big matchups. We got New York Islanders and Chicago.
Taking a piss, I'm out. Good show.
See you later, Filthy One.
See you, buddy.
We got New York and Detroit. Rangers in Detroit. That'll be interesting. Toronto versus Florida. San Jose versus Winnipeg. We have Calgary versus Anaheim. That's going to be the matchup of the night. That's the game of the week right there. Leaf and Jets, if you're listening, that's the game of the week right there. Calgary versus Anaheim. Toronto and San Jose at 11:15. We got New York and Florida at 11:15 as well. Rangers in Florida. That's what I meant. The Islanders in Detroit. The Blackhawks and the Ducks. And the Winnipegs and the Calgary Flames. Great show tonight. We'll be back next week with more. Send us interesting topics for the 5-minute major. Excuse me. Send us topics for the 5-minute major. Overall, for Diggs and Filthy One, signing out.